We go again.
We go again.
Hello?
Yep.
What are you doing, mate?
Smelled me bloody coffee, didn't I? So now I'm using my snotty grotties to soak it up. I'm gonna have a brown bum now for the rest of this film.
It was only a matter of time anyway, wasn't it?
Yes. Indeedy. There's no camping.
No camping.
That's, yeah, that camping interdit is no camping, so that's more than likely no nights in it.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
And then it says from the 1st of March until August 31st, it's from sunrise to sunset only.
Right.
And then
Good old Google Translate.
9 hours, I reckon it's like 1st of October, 28th of February, 9 hours. So it's basically a day lake, no nights, well, no camping, and there is a telephone number on the tree as well. So I'm guessing possibly you phone if you want to fish. So it's a campsite that you can't do nights on the lake. You probably have to phone for a ticket, and you can only fish the days. So should we jump back in the van, go to the next one?
100%. We were just driving the van along this road, looking at some of the bigger lakes on our left-hand side, which we're pretty sure are public. And just to my right, there's a waterway. I don't know if it's a river or a really long lake. It looks like a bit of a river. And just out the van window, I saw some carp. So we're having a little wander up now, and if we see another one, or if we see one that's worth fishing for, my floater rod's ready to go. So it'd be rude not to have a quick go. There's one or two over here actually, look. A lot more bream than carp.
Yeah.
Probably seen 10 bream. And a couple of tench as well, I think.
Yeah.
But only a couple of carp, but they're obviously in here. Probably means hunting for carp via a hut, as she said.
The pesh and a carp delete is prohibited.
I think you're right. It means you can fish for carp at night if you have a hut, because there's huts around there, isn't there?
Yeah, there's some buildings, isn't there? Okay. Okay, so we've just looked around a couple of lakes that we've got pinned. Turns out they are public. They've got clear water, so potentially fish could be quite nice. And we found a very helpful young man who is what looks like he must be some kind of groundskeeper here. He was picking up some litter, and he's got some high-vis clothing on. So we punished him up for a bit of information and advice. He's driven us round to where we can fish for carp for the night, but we have to go and see his boss, which is where we're driving now, because we have to obtain a €10 night permit. Don't know if it's per person, I'm guessing it's per person, but with a bit of Google Translate, we asked, is it €10 for the night or is it €10 for the year? And he has said that it's €10 for the year. So yeah, it's looking very promising. So we're going into an office now and we're going to speak to the boss man, show him, you know, because this guy has also said that we can use boats, and for the night areas it looks like we could probably do with a boat, to be honest. It's quite weedy and stuff, so it'd be nice to get out there and have a look when this rain stops. So yeah, we're currently pulling in, so we find out a bit more information and go from there. Decisions.
It's tricky. We were about to go down to our potential final destination of the trip, or the furthest away point, if you like.
Yeah.
And we put it in the sat nav, and it's got an hour of traffic because there's been an accident, which takes it to 3 hours. It's 3 o'clock now. That's 6 o'clock by the time we get there. We're currently contemplating going back to the lake we were just at, that I had to go on the top for the fish, but I feel like if we're going to go there and give it a couple of hours, that time's just going to fly by, and it's just going to mean we're going to get later and later to this lake that we want to go to.
Yeah.
Plus also, you know, by the time we leave later, we're going to be right in the middle of rush hour. It could even take longer.
We're going to get all the kit out of the van, aren't we? We're going to flick the rods out in the edge, hopefully that they come in, but
it's going to take an hour from this point to get the rods out.
Yeah. And
then it's going to be an hour sitting there waiting for a bite. It's not something. Yeah, it's not something we really want to do the night either, is it? Because it's so weedy. Although I do feel like there's a chance of a fish tonight, and for a good chance of a fish. Yeah. There was also nothing bigger than about £20 that we saw. Not to say there's nothing in there bigger than that, but I don't know. There's nothing that's pulling me there personally.
Yeah, we saw quite a few fish, didn't we? We didn't see anything that's like stopped us in our tracks. Like, oh, we need to get back there. There's big carp in there.
Should we just put our finger out and go to this lake?
Yeah, I think
We've got
so.
3 nights. We could do tonight there. If we leave now, we'll have enough time to sort the rods out properly for the night.
Yeah.
And then we can fish tonight, tomorrow, maybe even tomorrow night. And if we like it, we'll stay. If we don't like it, then we've got a couple of other potential lakes, haven't we?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a plan, mate.
Should we do it?
Let's do it.
It's a long drive, but it's all part of the journey, isn't it? This is always the case. Unsure of what to do, but
yeah,
it's how we roll. So we've just found paradise. Literally was on the way to the lake that we came all this way for, and I pointed out a lake that we were going to visit earlier, but we thought we nearly didn't bother because we didn't think we had enough time. And yeah, stumbled across something I think it's pretty special. Mega lake. Proper like bit of paradise, isn't it, Lou?
Yeah.
And yeah, within sort of 10 minutes of being here, found what, a group of 20, 30, maybe even more, 40 fish.
Loads.
At one point. So I mean, I can't lie, I think that's probably the majority of the stock because it was all in one area. But yeah, it is a pretty nice place. So I think we've made our mind up now. We're actually going to fish here instead of our intended destination.
Just how the hell do you fish it?
But for good reason. But the only problem is how we are going to fish it, as Lou said, because it's a lot of weed. Like, a lot of weed. But yeah, there's a will, there's a way. We fished them worse, haven't we, Bob?
Oh yeah.
So, here we go. Let's do it, I reckon.
Let's do it. We have a plan.
We do. Decisions have been made. I mean, it's safe to say that we found the carp.
Yeah, it's just a few.
We've decided to set up slightly off of where we found them. Reason being, I mean, it's a bit tight around here.
It's not really any swims as such.
No
as
swims as such.
Or
It'd
gaps.
just be holes in trees. I think we're going to save that for tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, I think just behind me there's kind of like a point zoom, if you want to call it that. And Lou and I are going to double up in there, and we've seen fish kind of in most areas that we both want to fish. Really, I'm going to fish to the right into the open water. I see some big clear spots out there, and Lou's going to fish to the left where he's also seen fish. And yes, all in all, it's just feeling really, really good. And hopefully tonight, I mean, I'd like to think tonight that they're all going to come away. They're all going to come out of the weed as it gets darker and the weed starts to suck all the oxygen out of the water. And I think we're going to be in prime position.
It's worth saying, the fish that we have seen, the majority, are quite small.
They are.
I mean, 20 pounders?
Yeah.
20 pounders.
A couple of big grassies.
Big grasses. But
yeah,
it's bites.
Yeah, definitely.
And we do have another lake in this area, so
100%.
if we can get a couple under our belt, we can always make a move, can't we?
Absolutely. Yeah, if we catch a couple tonight and we're content, if you like, then I think we've got a pretty solid plan for tomorrow, and no doubt we'll spend a few hours here stalking and
definitely try and get one up close.
Yeah, definitely. And if that all goes well, then we can leave here happy and hopefully chase a bit of a bigger one down the road. Because we know that the other lake that we were going to go to is got some 20 kilos in, so yeah, that's good. It's exciting. Yeah. We spend a lot of time walking around lakes on these sorts of trips, and we don't always find them. So to have found this many, can't grumble. Very happy. So let's get a wiggle on, shall we?
Yeah, let's go get
let's go
get the kit. Here we go.
Morning. Just as we thought it wasn't going to happen. All right. Funny old night last night. Heard a few, but that's not a bad fish actually. How about that for the first one of the trip? Wicked. Torpedo, style common, obviously had a good spawn and a hell of a scrap too, so well happy. I'm not going to lie, I thought there might be 1 or 2 more opportunities last night for the amount of fish we saw near us, but I'm fishing tiny little spots and that is a result regardless. So happy days. Good to know there's a few nicer fish in here because we only saw a few small ones yesterday, so happy days.
I'm getting in. Ta-da, mate.
Oh. Drop the GoPro.
Essential crony when in France. So after that fish with Trist, it's now baking hot. This wasn't actually forecast today. It was supposed to be overcast for most of the day. And I really did think that that would be perfect, having seen quite a few fish in the weed yesterday, that an overcast day might be great for getting them in close feeding. But obviously the weatherman was wrong and it is now baking hot and sunny. So I'm expecting to find quite a few carp again. I've got my bucket, I'm going to wander around and bait a few little spots with a couple of handfuls here and there and just keep wandering around checking them. So I'm going to go and do that now. I've got the GoPro so I can show you what I'm up to.
Louis was just baiting up and I was actually just recasting one of my rods because I had a big weed bed.
Yeah, you need to. Watch out.
Get my net up, please.
Yep.
Little one.
Number 2.
More like the size of the ones we were seeing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it's another fish in the heat as well, which is really good. There we go. I've literally just got dry after my swim, unintended swim. There, we're away again. Different rod, same spot, very different weather conditions. So that is brilliant.
So, on the way to Roker spot, and there's shitloads of carp there. I should have done this yesterday, but I didn't. I cleared a spot with a castable weed rake yesterday in front of the swim on the point, because we was here late, and if I'd have been chucking this thing around, then, well, they probably would have come back, but they're obviously loving this area, so I'm going to make 2 spots in a little swim. It's just here. There's loads of carp in it. I go from there, really. I put this in my bucket. Look, so many of them here. They're not going to like the rake at the start, but then they'll come back, and it's a good enough swim to brolly up right back. A little bit of shade. Can brolly up right back. Try and sort this mess out. Let me get to it. Right, so a couple of hours later, maybe an hour and a bit later, I've cleared 2 spots in this little swim behind me. And yeah, very happy with how that went, to be honest. It's different both sides. I've only raked 2 spots. One's a silty spot, sort of where the tree leans over. Quite deep silt, so I've raked out quite a bit of the silt, and then the left hand side of the swim in the margin is quite firm and gravelly. So I've got 2 kind of contrasting. God, look at the state of this hair. I've got 2 contrasting spots to left and right of each other, and the whole time I've been doing the raking, fish have been not too far away. So I've just jumped up on the bank again, and they're still cruising just after the weed. So hopefully now they come in and have a look at what I've done. I'm going to bait it now. I'll quick spin this round and show you the 2 areas. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but there's now a hole there, and I've got great line lay as well, all the way back to where the rod will be. That's the harder spot, and then I've created a little channel there up to the silty one. So, bit of bait, on it, and yeah, bit of bait on it, and then leave it for a while. Let it all sort of calm down. Let all the sediment settle. And yeah, there'll be bait there. So I'm going to come back and check it in a couple of hours. In that space of time, I'm going to get the rods ready as well, and get all my kits sorted and packed up. Get it on the barrow, and then yeah, probably have a bit of lunch. Head round here later. Definitely a beer first as well. It's bloody hot out here.
Right then, so it is hot. Absolutely roasting, in fact. And it's been a good day. It's been an eventful day. Managed to fish, I don't know, around about 1-ish, something like that. Only the small mirror. But stunning little one, and it's just good to get another one off the spot. It was the other rod as well, so that's brilliant. Shortly after that, I saw loads of fish to my right hand side in amongst all the weed, and I actually decided to dedicate quite a bit of time in the end to just trying to get one on bread, especially as Louis said I wouldn't catch one. And yeah, lost one, unfortunately. Got to take on camera, but yeah, it's a nightmare. Just done me and snagged down to the right. It was only on for a couple of seconds, but yeah, quick enough to get it straight into the margin and do me, basically. Shortly after that, I came back here, and to be fair, the rods were out most of the afternoon. Whilst I was doing that anyway, because literally I was literally next door. I could see my butts, to be fair, my rod butts from where I was sitting. Came back, reflipped my right hand rod, just because it was in the back of my mind that it wasn't as accurate as it could be. Lo and behold, I'd say an hour later, I was just around filming Louis, getting some close-up shots of his rig bits and bobs before he puts his rods out and we have a barbecue. Yeah, the right hand rod ripped off, and yeah, shouted to Louis. He was getting the camera gear ready next door. I had a little bit of a strop actually. Obviously a bit pissed off I lost the fish, but didn't get any footage of it either, because understandably Louis obviously ran round there with all the camera gear, but he had to pack it up first because being a public lake, there's people everywhere. Last thing we wanted was camera getting pinched, so I apologise, I had a moan at him, but it is what it is. Losing the fish probably didn't help, but that was definitely a kick to the teeth, because I mean, I had it on the whole way, probably 5 minutes, all the way into the bank, and I just stepped down the steep bank, went down to get into the water to get a better angle to get through all the weed, and yeah, it's powered off and the hook pulled. So yeah, actually wounded about that. I know I've had 2 fish and another opportunity, but can't help the way you feel, can you? And unfortunately, losing fish is about as bad as it could have got in that instance. So tis what it is. Well, what a beautiful day, what a beautiful lake. Yeah, can't beat it. I've got a couple of fish now. Hope Lou catches one tonight, I really do. He's put a lot of effort in breaking all these spots and making up his bait and moving swim. But needs must, I would have done exactly the same if I needed to. But yeah, that little spot out there has done me proud. So I've obviously kept one rod on there, and there's another spot just to the left of that, which is a little bit shorter, but I put my left rod on that spot, my right rod on the middle spot, on the right spot out there. Whereas the previous night I actually fished 2 really tight on that spot, but yeah, made the decision to split them up a little bit. It's only tiny, and although I had a fish on each rod, I feel like that spot is enough for one rod. So 1 rod is enough for that spot rather. But yeah, right rod, found a new spot altogether, because I only fished 2 rods last night. All of today I only fished 2 rods. But there's loads of room in here. So on my 3rd rod I found another clear spot about 15 reps out, and gave it exactly the same treatment. Crushed tiger, whole tiger, and crushed boilie. My go-to bait that's never failed me on these trips. So needless to say, I'm going into the night very confidently, hoping Louis catches one. Obviously I'd like to catch another one, but if Louis catches one and we're content here, then I think it's very likely that we will be moving to another lake tomorrow, which is cool. We like to change it up. Yeah, I think there's more fish to be had here, but there's another lake just up the road that we actually were going to go, but we swung in here to check this lake out first. So we know we can fish it, we know it's public, we know you can do nights, and we know it's got some bigger fish in. So yeah, give it one more night here, and hopefully we can both leave here victorious in the morning and try somewhere different. So finally it's time to eat. I haven't eaten properly over the last couple of days. We usually do, to be fair, we're usually really good with the food. It's been hot, it's been tricky, we're moving swims quite a lot, and yeah, that's how it goes sometimes. Film the barbecue, get some beer in us, and watch the night roll in. See you in the morning.
filming really, isn't it? That's how much right on top.
Mate, it's been hot, it really has, because obviously you see with the sunset, it has literally been there. And you know when you're trying to cast, like, you know, there's a fair cast as well, and you're trying to cast as accurately as you possibly can, but the sun is literally directly in front of you. You've got the hat down here, the glass is on full, and it's literally blinding. But yeah, another carp.
Happy days.
It's all action, it's all fun, and I absolutely love it. But something bigger for Louis tonight would be the one, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Something.
There we go.
Morning, campers. Literally. No fish for me just yet. Also haven't seen any bubbling or any fizzing over either spot. Not to say it won't happen, but it is about 6:30 now. The sun's going to be getting hot soon. So I'm sitting here trying to think of a new plan. Just been up to a little gap. It's got a bench in it. Next bit up from me here. Put in a little bit of bait. That's where I saw a few more fish yesterday as well, and had possibly eaten the bait. That's an option. Right, I'm gonna stick a coffee on, keep wandering about, catch up with you in a bit.
Two best ones from last night. A really good night's fishing. I actually didn't put the rods out after these two early hours this morning, so I could get some new rigs tied, fresh bait, and do it properly. And it paid off because I actually had another 2 takes after these two this morning, another 2 small commons. But yeah, happy days.
Morning, mate.
How we doing?
Not too bad. Well,
Why are you over here?
it's not happening round there, is it? I'm not too sure how to play out the morning or, well, afternoon. Well, I have an idea, but yeah, it didn't pay off for me last night fishing the margin spots that I raked. After I'd done it and put the rods out, I was kind of in two minds. Obviously fishing around weed with the oxygen at night and stuff like that, it did cross my mind. But yeah, I mean, both the spots that I raked, after I'd let it settle for a while, let the sediment settle and the silt settle, went back to the spots and did see fish over them, like directly over them. So yeah, it was a funny one. I thought it would either be a very busy night or I thought I'd nick one, to be fair. I did go into the night thinking I would nick a bite, but it didn't happen. So we're now on day 3. We've done 2 nights and I still haven't caught one yet. Trist's had 7 fish.
7 fish and lost a couple.
7 fish, probably 9 bites in total after a couple of losses. So, I mean, the spot that he's fishing out in the lake is obviously producing fish. So, I mean, I am kind of determined to catch one from either the edge or stalking, that kind of method, but I don't know. I mean, my theory is that they were there yesterday. I raked the swim, they moved out. A couple of fish came back and then it did get dark. So I think they probably would have moved off for the night, but there's every chance that they could come in again today. And considering the fish were there yesterday and I didn't fish all day, I just prepped the spots, got the rods ready, moved, did all that. So I didn't have any rods in the water yesterday from about sort of 11, 12 o'clock through till I put the rods in at about 7 o'clock last night, was it?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So they could come in today, but I've got a 3rd rod and I have baited a little spot in the edge again where I thought I saw fish yesterday feeding. So I'm gonna have to wander up and down a lot. But there is also talks on the cards about potentially moving lakes today. Obviously, Trist's catching fish here. We're getting bites. It's great. It's very fun. We're getting loads of lovely shots and the film is going very well so far. However, we do know of another lake that's probably about 10 minutes away from here that we know from a friend has some 20 kilo plus fish in it. So obviously we've had some really good fun here. We love this lake. The fish are lovely as well and we're getting bites. But even though I haven't caught one from here, we had that up our sleeve anyway for the last night that we might move on to a lake and try for a bigger fish. So, Trist, you might be possibly going and having a look later.
Yep.
So Trist might jump in the van later, find the lake, have a look round it, check that it's not busy really, because it is a Wednesday now. So it's the kind of French, a lot of French have day off on Wednesday during the week. So it could be busy with anglers. I mean, there's no one else here, so you never know. But as soon as we know a verdict on that, I'm gonna now go back to my swim, try and formulate some kind of plan, get that 3rd rod set up, and try and catch one basically. And in the meantime, we may have another lake to move on later.
Well then, the time has come to explore other options. As I said earlier, it has been wicked, but they've all been pretty small. I haven't really seen anything bigger to even get us excited either. So I'm going to go and look at the other lake that we spoke about yesterday, and yeah, see if it's worth dropping on for the last night. So can't really think of much else Lou can do to get a bite, to be completely honest with you. He's worked hard, he's moved around, he's made his spots, and he's on fish. So
they're just not playing ball.
They're not playing ball, and it's weighing out how much effort you want to put in and how much time you want to put into potentially another small carp. So
yeah,
both in the same boat. It would have been nice to have looked for Louis to catch one before we leave, but yeah, we shall see what this lake's like. It might be a write-off, it might be busy, it might not even be public. Right, I am in charge of the Wofte-mobile, the Woft wagon. Just putting down the track to this lake now. It's looking cool so far. In the middle of nowhere, just dodging shit. Hang on. Narrow bridge. It's looking good so far. Duck out that sign so you can't see it. Oh, look at that. Let's have a look then. It's a cool place. There's all sorts here. Quite snaggy. You're not allowed to use boats. You are allowed to night fish it. We already knew that though. But the water isn't overly clear. Still clear enough. But we'll try and find some fish first. This is one of, I think, 2 swims, believe it or not. It's a bit weird. Loads of geese. No, they're not. Swans. It's a cool lake. I'm not sure if it's the sort of place you want to drop on for one night though. This looks like another area you can fish. This looks good. This is the first swim you come to at the car park. That actually does look really cool. If you can see, if we can find fish in there, then I think this would be a really good bet, although it's going to be snaggy and you're not allowed boats, but certainly looks like it's going to hold them. Probably let Louis go in here, try and catch one. I'll just go further up and fish open water. Hot.
it is bloody hot. Oh yeah.
Mission complete.
Mission complete. And it's a Heineken.
And it's a Heine.
Oh.
Verdict? It's not going to last seconds, is it? Verdict. I'm very torn. I'm very torn. If it was a lake that we just turned up to fish, then we'd fish it. Do you know what I mean? Like we'd look at it and think, yeah, we'll make this work. Maybe sort of bear somewhere else in mind, but we'll certainly do the night there. But we're on a lake which is doing fish.
Yep.
Which is beautiful.
It is.
But I want to catch something bigger and I want to go somewhere different.
Same. Let's drink this beer and then decide.
So, now what?
Well, Tristo come back from the shop bearing gifts, beer and camembert and bread and sweets. and chocolate.
biscuits.
And in the meanwhile, since we've been sort of like just chilling out of the sun, to be honest, we've been speaking to a friend of ours. It actually turns out the lake that we were speaking about is a different lake, and maybe a bit of miscommunication or something, I don't know, but it's like another 45 minutes away from where we are now, and with it being almost probably 6 o'clock now, is it?
It's gotta be, yeah.
It's probably almost 6. It's bloody hot. I am all packed up, but it would mean Trist having to pack up, load the van, drive 45 minutes, look round a new lake from Google Earth as well. There's a lot of vans, a lot of cars there, so it's likely to be a bit more of a well-known lake, a bit busier. So potentially lapping the lake a couple of times, looking for a swim. It'll be midnight again before we're putting the rods out, and probably not confidently. So I've ended up back where I started, and with the help of the drone, which in this circumstance is pretty much, without a boat, it's the only way to get on the spots, unless I want to absolutely thrash it, which in this heat with little energy I don't really want to be doing, to be fair. So yeah, we buzzed the drone up. After probably 10 casts, I've got onto a clearer area, ping the float up 4 foot, and I've got a marker, well it's daylight anyway, because there's about 50 pine trees on the horizon marker. I can pick out that actually.
You've got more to go out than I
can
have.
pick out that little dip and go to the
I've got
left of
about
it.
900 triangles to try and
Yeah,
pick
you
one
have.
to
You
eight, yeah.
literally have got Christmas trees everywhere. So yeah, I've put the float out, and we're gonna stay here for the night, aren't we, mate?
You certainly are.
So mission is to catch a fish
You a carp?
and use some more carp. You a bigger carp. I'll take a cricket bat. You take a 20 kilo.
Okay.
How's that?
Do me. Well done, Sal. Rods have been out for maybe an hour after reeling in about 1 o'clock this afternoon. It's good to know, because it's not so different now, but a real drastic temperature change coming, didn't we, with the wind and wind direction and everything. It all changed really quickly. There's a little bit of me that did wonder what it would do to the fishing.
What was that?
What position? But this one is not fighting like the other small ones were, to be honest. It's a bit more ploddy.
Yeah, definitely.
The other ones were just like meh, meh.
Well, we were going to show, weren't we, what that bite did that you got on camera yesterday did to your alarm.
Yeah, it's completely cut the plastic sides of my alarm, yeah. I think this is a better fish, you know.
Right, you concentrate on getting them in, Brick. Yeah.
A bit of a better one.
Is it?
Yeah. How about that? Just on cue. Rods have probably only been out for just about an hour or so. Just sat down, just discussing food, and off it went. Hopefully, a few more of these into the night. That would be brilliant. Both of us can have one more each like this. Well, I don't even care about me, to be fair. I don't know why I just said that. I just want Louis to have one and that's it. Well. Another mad night's fishing last night. I don't even know how many I had, but it was pretty much just rotating 20-pound commons in my retainer and net. A lot of casting, a lot of tying rigs. I haven't really slept again. Yeah, it's good fun. We've conjured a plan, haven't we?
We have, yeah, and we spoke about doing this on other trips before, and well, Tris has offered
Multiple times.
Yeah.
But
to be fair,
I get it.
I have really tried to make it happen. Like I've been in this. I started off in this swim next door to Tris, raked my own spot with a castable weed rake. Tried that for a night, nothing happened. So I then, I've really messed that up.
Right,
I then moved all the way down to the other end of the lake, where the weed is, where they were spending all their time during the days, and when we got here we saw so many fish there. So I ended up moving down there with a proper weed rake, raking 2 margin spots with decent line lay and everything. Tried that for a night, checked it when the sun finally came out yesterday afternoon, checked the spot, and none of the bait had been touched at all. So,
but they were there though, weren't they?
They were all there.
They were all over it.
There was
touching the bait.
mid 40-pound grassies all around it. There was carp coming in and out everywhere. Another big common circled the spot. Got some pictures actually, literally over the spot, circled the spot when I was up the tree. They're just not interested in feeding in the edge. So it's the last day. I haven't caught. Tris had about 15 fish from like 15, 20 yards away. So yeah, he has offered for me to put some rods on his spot. Never usually do this, but it's a very unique situation that there's actually 2 spots going. It's really raining, isn't it?
Yeah, can I wrap it up?
There's 2 spots going, so I'm going to move my rods over with Tris. We're going to put all of our bait together and focus all of our efforts in that swim for the day.
Got about what, 6, 7, 8 hours fishing?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, they're wicked fish. I thought this one was bigger. Perhaps not. It's wider on the back, but got no belly to him, but another beautiful common. It's full of them in here, clearly.
Hello.
It's nice when something works out, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Oh man, this is tightening like a lot.
Better one. Yes, Louis.
Yes. Oh, God, that feels good to finally catch one on the last day. Sick. Fucking sick.
That's going.
It's a strange affection. It's too much to ask for. It's too much to whisper. Breathe in me.
Right. Thanks to Trist, managed to get in on the action on the last day after literally pulling my hair out for a couple of days. Have put the effort in, raked spots. I've used a weed rake, a casting rake, tried to make areas in the edge, but they just weren't interested in coming in. So, last resort option, jumped in onto Trist's spot, got in on the action on the last day, and this was my second bite of a double take. Big one in the net, so let's slip old Terry back, Terry Turbo, and get the other one out. Get them rods back out, might get a few more. Go. This was the first bite of that little double take. Thanks to Tris for letting me share his spot for the last day. It's nice to be holding a, well, what feels like low to mid 20-ish common. Bit of a fat one, bit of a chunky one. Similar characteristics to myself, to be fair. Short and dumpy. Yeah, lovely. Alright, it's nice to have one in your hands. Yeah. Getting back now, get the rod out, get some more bait out. Hopefully a few more for us both on this last day.
It's a strange affection. It's too much to ask for. It's too much to whisper. Breathe in me. It's a strange affection. It's too much to ask for. It's too much to whisper. Breathe in me.
That's another trip, another public adventure of ours, finished with, ending on a high as well.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah, it all went to plan. A last minute kind of thought, and it all worked out well, didn't it?
Sharing a spot is an absolute edge.
Yeah, it's definitely something to account. Yeah, it is when you're blanket. No, it's definitely something to take into account in the future sessions, I suppose. Like,
Definitely.
especially if one person's blanking and one person's
Hauling.
on the fish. Yeah.
Because yeah, I mean it's a joint effort. At the end of the day, not just
Taking it away
making
from
my
me.
decision absolutely fine.
No, I offered.
You did.
The beginning of yesterday, I was like, look, if it's good, you can see how it's going.
Yeah,
You know, if there's going to be a time to share a spot or whatever, swap swims or whatever suits the occasion, then that was it. You know.
definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
And I mean, it wasn't for the lack of trying. I guess. I mean,
You grafted, mate.
I raked a swim in here. I raked a swim down there. Gave each one of them a night, and yeah, to my surprise, well, kind of not to my surprise really. I was in two minds when I moved down there. I was in two minds about fishing in the weed at night. But you have to do these things sometimes, don't you, to actually
definitely.
learn from. And I think we go away learning quite
Every
a bit
trip.
every time. Yeah, every single time.
Yeah. Right, that is our alarm to go.
Yeah, so we better
So we
get
better
going.
crack on.
See you next time.
Certainly will. That was a win. Come on in.
Let's go.